Right, morning sports fans, so it's Tuesday morning, nice and early, 5 to 7. Yeah, I messed up this morning, I'll be honest with you. I thought, be prepared. One of the comments last night was, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So yeah, all my oil equipment, because I'm on with quite a few oil boiler services, I've come in this morning, got something out of the back, totally forgot to pick up the oil hoover, oil nozzle kits and everything. Yeah, sod's law, gets to site all the way right into Beverley. I'm like, freaking, I've left the oil kits. I'm 20 minutes away from the office, so I've come back to get them. It's like this, George is going to be in for 8 o'clock, and I've got George with me today as well, which is a bit of a bonus. Harry's out and about jobbing, Dale's got him out and about jobbing. So I've come back here, I thought, might as well come get the gear and Mally off, because I was going to get George dropped off to site. But do you know what? Sod it, I've got stuff I need to get done in the back. I'm going to utilise the time wisely right now and get a list of things that I need to do, because I'm just getting a restock check done in the office of what we've got going on. We've got quite a few bits of materials that were low on, and then other bits that were too high on, if that makes sense. So I need to balance it out in preparation for the van stock on the vans. I've checked that, if you've watched, 4 or 5 times now, because it just I like to make sure. What I want to ask you sports fans is, quick question for this video. What have I done wrong with that sound there? I'll leave that in the comments. I reckon only true fans will know that one. So let's go, hustlers, let's hit it. 10 past 7, so what I'm doing, I'm in stores, just literally getting loaded up, sorted. So it was just a bit of a mess, I'll be honest. I've let this slack a little bit, which is annoying, and obviously I suppose you've got to lead direct, whatever they want to say from the top. So if I give this 110%, the lads see that it's normal not to give it 110%, then what happens is there's a decline in it as well. So we don't keep massive amounts of stocks, but your general things like fittings and stuff, we keep on board. Because if the lads have done a job, need a little bit of refill, need to keep van stock, they can come in here, replenish it obviously. Once they've replenished, they'll sign it out on here, like I say. So all our equipment, plant stuff's on here. So like the Magna Cleanse engineer that's taken it, the date it was taken, date it was returned. The reason being is for that as well, obviously. It cuts out all the riffraff of who's had the unit last, because this is missing out of it. It can be straight to, Harry, you've had the I don't know, the press gun last, mate, or you've had the Magna Clean last, mate, all the hoses and stuff are missing, where are they? And it can be like, well, we need sorting then, do you know what I mean? It's just straight away responsibility being owned by the situation. I've got a few decent bits in here. The old aluminium, are the 42s, 36s. Keep all bits like that, and it just makes sense. Daft little bits, cordial set things like that, spare bits and bats, TRVs and stuff. It just, like I say, makes sense. All plants kept, and it's locked up, secure, safe in the back. Just obviously, you've got to use your head. Obviously, you'll do some jobs where a little bit of gear will come back. So we credit most of it back where we need it, and most jobs are accurate to the point of where we get the gear right what's needed. But like I say, I'm going to just start getting this sorted out now, because then I can get a delivery put in again for what I need. Because there's press mixed up with other bits and stuff as well. So it's just be nice. That'll be me in this morning, get this completed. Once I've got this done, and then get George, we'll come over onto site. So it's simple as that. Again, 28 elbows to M&Fs to T's to sockets to reducers, down to your 22 sections there again, then your 15. So just doing this again, it can see the amount of stock that you've got and where it needs replenishing. Again, in the past, it's just obviously been filled up by members of the team and done what we need to do. And not saying no one's done nothing wrong, but it's been heavily neglected, you know. So what happens is, downtime on jobs, end up going to jobs, I'm like, right, I need some fittings, I'll go to site, get them. The lads should be paramountly keeping the van stocked minimalistic, just with these bits at least. Pipework, fittings, your general toilet supply, solder, flux, stuff like that. Even chemicals down to inhibitor, couple of radiator valves. It should be paramount that is just kept on board the van, because downtime, one, for the client is massive. One, saves them money and saves us time, and then we can get on to the next job. So I'm going to crack on with this, hopefully, for 7:15 now. I'm going to get the press fittings row done, so our next row is all press fittings, then numerous fittings just below that, like valves and stuff like that. Then just get a little bit of restock at the nice to come in and be like, right, I need a few little bits. Don't get me wrong, it always costs a little bit of money investing in stuff like this, but again, it's investment for a good cause. We don't need to have too much of it, but just enough to keep us ticking over. Right, so 7:25. I've had a good half an hour with that now, so I feel organised to the nines now. I know what I need, where I need it, so you can see I'm low on 28mm M&Fs, we're low on 22mm elbows soldered. 15 fittings are totally out. We've had a restock while I've been here, like I say, so I'll get all these sorted out now. These bottom ones are just going to be, like I say, miscellaneous ones. They've got a few of them fittings in there that very rarely get used, like 22mm HEP and stuff. No point throwing them away. And then we'll get things like lever valves and stuff put inside here as well, just to keep it stocked up. Like I say, I know it costs money to keep it stock on board and stuff, but if you've got a premises and you can store it and do it, because obviously, one, it saves you money in the long run. I know it's a bit of an initial layout, but it saves time and money, like I say, massively. And it's nice just to be able to come in and that fitting's a little bit low, restock in the office, and we're not hanging on to the merchants waiting for the supplies and stuff like that. So it's all about using your time wisely, really. That's all I want to say on that one. But that note, now it's 7:30. I'm going to quickly get over the pannier because I'm a saddo. I know I am. I'm going to get nice and tidy, immaculate, and then I'll be heading out onto the road with my boy, Georgey Porgy. Go on then, tell me.
You see your face. That's my favourite one. So it's from Brandon. Dale, yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, today's a gift. Mate, you are looking at me.
And that's what I'm saying, hustlers. Was you watching YouTube last night?
No, mate.
Why not?
Actually, I watched you the other day.
Do you know when you get your...
minutes, I was like, this is boring as fuck, I'm turned off.
Do you know when you get your van?
Yeah.
You won't have to put stuff in your pockets no more because you've got a van stock in your pockets.
Can I?
Just shows what you've got in your pockets. No, nothing.
Yeah, let's have a look at
No, there's nothing in here.
No, there is. It's rattling in the bag. It's real heavy. So what's in here?
All my bleed keys.
All your bleed keys. How many bleed keys in here? Here we go. We've got some big screws, washers, the TRV valve, a 3/4 22, mini little set, some lip balm. Puts that up his bum. I mean, look at the state of this, mate. Why do you carry all this junk with you? Mate, that must be stole that. You've got, what do you do with that? They put that on the end of it?
That was rubbish the other day.
When are you going to use that? A clip? Mate, how would you live like that? I know! George, seriously, what is the one thing we pride ourselves on at this company?
Uniform.
That's right. Now, Dale, show us your top. Show us your top! Show us your top! Dale! Show us your top. Let me see it. Here it is.
You bastard.
The struggle is real.
I don't know, but what's that? Is that like a read off the side?
Is this what Caprani does to you?
You need it.
I've just treated Dale to a 5 kilogram vegan, but it's a 1 kilogram fizzy mega mix. So Dale's diet today consists of fizzy mega mix and a can of Red Bull. And to be fair, for that you look quite stacked, don't you?
Get like George.
Get your belly. Shows your belly.
No. They're the best. The best.
Oh, mate, it's fucking 8:10 in the morning.
We need the sugar to put up for you all there.
Yeah, while I'm on it, let's have a heart attack. There's Cafe Gold, that is Dale, that is proper office all day. And what's,
nice knowing you all.
What's George got? A bottle of full fat Dr Pepper.
What are you going on with that?
I've got Luke's here to be fair, but you want me to show him a pack up? I've got...
No, I'm talking about the pack up.
No, that's George's.
No. I know it's George's.
I've got Luke's here, which again isn't good, but I was up crack of dawn this morning, so I fancy just a little kick of energy, which aren't the best. That's the only fizz I'll have all day.
So it's got what? So 22 grams of sugar and what's that got in it?
17.1.
Might be better.
That's not bad. 11 grams. Oh, look at you, button.
Say that, mate, but you know. Red Bulls all the way.
Yeah, get send some of them, mate.
Which one's the best?
I don't know.
I fancy that blue one.
Let's give us a review of this week. So what's it doing to your palate? Don't stress, mate. Sit down. Let's just take it nice and steady, George. No rushing around. So, this morning's job, 9:30. I've got 2 5 heads due for service on the burners, a clean out as well. So, I'll get these both done. Sorry, Georgie. Get these both done in this plant room. Get my gloves on again, working well. Get rid of all the old nozzles and stuff. Standard things. Yeah, sorted. Checking the expansions there, all okay. And then another thing as well. Checking your fluid systems, make sure everything's good. So that's being sealed up with some non-sealing compound. because that did have a leak on there before on the flowways. That's good. That's my testing point there. I'll give it all a good hoover out again. A couple little things like the air vent looks a little bit iffy and stuff like that. Gate valves, big no-no, but again, that is what it is. So being here for the next few hours, I've got these to service, and then I've got a couple of direct fired cylinders to service as well. Nearly tripped over them, but let's go. We'll do it now. Strip them down, show you what we do. Tell ya. Still does it for me. Still does it for me. A little reminiscence of the kids, because again, obviously, they're getting older now, so it's always nice just to keep little bits there. They got me black and red tape measure for Happy Father's Day, so fair play. So, goggles. Again, only one set of goggles. Milwaukee. Whenever you're working with kerosene oil, it's always viable to use it. So I need my blue roll. I need my red folder with all my oil bits and bats in. A couple of new flexes, new nozzles, and then we're good to go. So I'll just keep this box, obviously, in office. It's got nozzle holders and stuff like that. Hoover. I need to test the fire valves as well. I don't think no fire valves in here. I think it's linked into a solenoid system, so I don't need to check them. And check them, it's pretty straightforward, like I say, but always just making sure we're doing the job right and doing it to our best of our ability. So keep your hands tidy, enjoy your days, and as Mikey Pipe says, if you weren't testing, you're guessing. So first things first, with any oil appliance, before I do a service and test them, so what I've done here, you just obviously check things like my failsafe on the photo, so that is a bit sooted up, I'll be honest with you. So it's going to want a bit of a clean up, this one. Let's see if it goes through it again. Can be quite boring. I'm just checking everything like our air intake, we'll take our flow integrity check, make sure that's all good. Expansion I've checked already. I'll whip the burner out, so she's fired. Green light says she's on. What I'll do now, if you look, photo cell there, so we'll block that off. Flame's gone out, it's gone to lockout, so just proving things that are working. So safe isolate now, disconnect the main switch plug for this from a burner. So you'll see there, disconnected. Now what I can do is whip my burner out, whip the air intake out, give it all a good deep clean out, put it back together. New nozzle, new flexes where required. I think they've got 2 years on them, but I'll double check. We changed them last year, I'm sure. I'll double check them. And then job's a good one to the next one. Again, it's paramount on any oil appliance. Again, sponsored by Milwaukee, out with George. Milwaukee glasses. It's paramount on any oil appliance that the nozzle is the same as per manufacturing structures for that boiler. Because again, we can have a hollow flame, what we call it, or like a solid spray, solid flame, what we want to call it. You've got to make sure you miss your angle and everything is right. Isn't it, George? Yeah. He's not even interested in it. The youth for today just don't want to learn no more, do they, George? No. So burner's out straight away now. Let's see just where the oil's hit the back there. That's how we'll go. Quite a bit of debris at the back there, so I'll clean all out. It's just obviously soot build or whatever on the back force. I'll take the plate out. Then my nozzle there, see there's a bit of soot on there. That was a good clean. They usually do get quite soot, these ones, I don't know why. I think some vertical flows, like I say. Oil pump looks a little bit, want to clean, a bit of grease on that, but I'll have a look at that. And then just clean the motor, disconnect the fan assembly, make sure that's all clean. So good for a strip done. Get it all put back together. So that nozzle is a 65.6580 ES, so 6580 ES, one for that one for that. I'll leave it there for now though, so keep a good stock of nozzles, it's always worthwhile. So I'll get this nozzle spun out. And again, we've got a waste carriers license, all that marker that it needs to have, and with these, like I say, don't we, George, right, share? We change them because they say the microparticle filters can get obviously dirty, but that looks absolutely immaculate. Nothing's gotten through to that nozzle. If you look at that in comparison to, there's a second. So look at that in comparison to the new one. Not much different, except there's a bit of grease on that kerosene nozzle there, kerosene. So always check your nozzle as well, just to make sure. So what we've got there. .80 ES, not going to say 65 degree, 0.65 80. So we've got there 65 80.8S, so done. So, couple plates off now. I need to give it a good clean out and stuff. You see all the dust and debris that's come out there. I'll take each one of these baffles out. So I want a good bit of clean, a bit sooted up. Not too bad. Seeing waste. There's a lot of carbon build up on them now. So I'll get all that hoovered out, put it back together, check the case seal, integrity check all that out, and then this all pretty much done, to be fair. Obviously flexes are good. New nozzles in, clean the bearing out, that's done, sorted. Then onto the one next to it as well, and obviously fluid integrity check, give it a clean up, wipes. I always clean my boilers up when I've serviced them. I think you're paying for service, get the boiler service, you know, so I clean it out inside, but I give them a nice wipe down, make them nice and white again, make them look like they're brand new. Now, if it weren't for George today, I wouldn't be here. You're doing nothing today, are you? Sat watching me, but he's learning. So what I'm doing now, it does it every bloody time that. I'm checking things like pump pressure now. I'm going to do a smoke pull test as well. So what I've got here, I hate this when it gets messy, it does my dem. I'm going to do a smoke pull test. So what I've done, I've got a smoke chart with me. So whenever you work on oil, obviously, before you put your flue gas analyzer in, which again, excuse, it's a bit of a mess today. So whenever you before you ever put your flue gas analyzer in, set that up for gas as well. When I've got two settings, I've got bio oil and then light oil, but all the readings are exactly the same. Obviously I do my own light oil. Flick to ratio. Before we stick that in, obviously your telegan, your flue gas analyzer equipment, has a pump inside with a filter goes there and a condensate trap there. What happens is, if I'm to test this appliance, once I've serviced it, put it all together, and it creates smoke, which they can do, so anything above 1 isn't allowed me to be getting between 0 and 1. I always aim for 0, but sometimes it's impossible, so you have to live with the 1, then put your telegan in. Anything above that, you know, it needs sorting as a service issue, so we'll get it fired up now. Wait for it to go through its sequences. I've got demand on the board, alright, yeah I haven't. So we're looking for 9 bar pump pressure here. So she gets fired up. Fired. We've got a 9 bar, which is good. So what I'll do now is from here. Doesn't smell so good. I need to clean this as well. I'm going to take a smoke pull from there. So what you do with this little device, which I've just done now, you put it on your combustion analyzer point in the boiler. You give it 8 pulls. So as that pulls out, what you do is your filtration paper here sits inside there. It pulls it through the gauze, so you can see. What I always do is to start at one end. So that was my startup sequence. It was black as anything. I've adjusted the airflow massively, so that was when I adjusted it even more. Obviously now it's settled down, you can see there, and you see where we're at now. We're looking for the circle, so that tells me we're good to get a reading. So I'm happy I can put my telegan gas analyzer in there now. Pop that into there. Get a few readings now. Pump will kick in, it'll be drawing out what it needs to do. I think last year I might have done it like that then. Not last year, a couple of years ago, service applied. So, and start taking readings now. And what I'm looking for on this boil needs to run at about 11.5% CO2. Obviously making sure ratios in with the CO parts million and stuff. Now you can tell line going black. She's raising, but ratio on CO is good, so I'm aiming for 11.5. I might have to tweak my air intake very slightly, but these boilers are few and far between. What I always like to do is I always bring the service records, and I've worked on a boiler before. Manufacturing instructions, and bring the service record as well, because we live by the manufacturing instructions. We need to be achieving the CO2 percentage, which is critical what to get. But sometimes we have to just tweak the air ratio. Manufacturer's instructions will state what it needs to be set at, but we need to be achieving 11.5%. The same with your pump pressure as well. We've got to work that obviously to make sure the boiler's running as clean as possible. So just going to give it a little tweak now because I'm settled at 10.2. You can see I've just literally increased airflow. So look at that, I'm going to have to decrease. down to 4%. So now I've decreased that. Again, we're keeping a look on that as well, making sure that's still nice and white. You don't want that going black and getting all messed up. So we can see now it's creeping up. I'm aiming for 11.5%. So they're pretty straightforward, these are not too bad. So once I've got the readings done, I'll put this one back together, isolate this boiler for the summer because it's not needed, then go on to the next one next to it. Just need that to tweak a little bit more, so I'm just adjusting my air intake now. I did set that 4.5% last time, but again, it all depends on weather conditions outside. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it raining? There's everything to take into account, a factor. But one first, my pump pressure's good at 9%. Obviously, manufacturing instruction states that. Air intake, I'm just doing that now. This is on a Vertex Flow as well. And then I'll do a CO check around the gasket on the bearing just to make sure that's all fine. But I'm nearly there at 11% now, so a little bit more tweaking, I reckon. It's not like a gas where you can just probe it and put it in. That's why it's paramount you do your smoke pull test fan. You see, the filter's absolutely immaculate, so 11.1. So I'm looking plus or minus 0.2%, 0.2. So I've had to tweak my air intake a little bit more. I've actually had to reduce it to 3.5 now on the shutter rating, so I'm at 11.4 now. I'll be honest with you, I'm happy with that. I'm looking for, I've had it fluctuating, but I'm happy with that, with the conditions outside, the wind and everything. It's just as simple as literally just tweaking that air intake there, so just bringing it down a tad, and there we are. 11.5%, which I want, so O2 efficiency. Boiler's at 97.7 efficiency, O2, my temperature, my flow gas is a condensing appliance, so overall happy with that one. So always when I'm servicing, pack of wipes with me as well. It's what I like to do, don't we George, is clean our appliance cases up. So again, old stickers come a little bit dodgy, so get rid of them. It's had a good clean up now. Obviously look at the reflection in that as opposed to that one. Just makes sense in the day, if we're having a plant room doing a job, said to all lads, like I say, it just makes sense that we carry proud on our work, clean the appliance up, give it a good wipe down, clean it around the boiler, we are expected to clean the plant automatically, but we maintain these plant rooms. We want them nice and tidy for when we come back in the future, so wipe it down, wipe the case down, make it look like it is maintained, which it is. So it's not hard, it's an extra 5 minutes of elbow grease, but it sells it to the client and it just proves that you do a good job. It's dinner time, isn't it, George? What are you going for then, you 3-year-old?
Transformer snack.
Make a transformer then, show us what it does.
No.
You have to build it.
No.
Go on, build one. So sat now, look at the beautiful fan, aren't we? On with the oil boiler services, cracking on. Here we go. This is what I'm saying. Here we go. Show me then. Eat it in one go. Make a sound effect.
No.
Come on, go like meow.